Is still on. It's been nearly 3 weeks since the last confirmed sighting of Brian Laundrie. He is a person of interest in the murder case of his fiancée, Gabby Petito, and authorities found her body in Wyoming shortly after she went missing on a cross-country trip with Laundrie. NewsNation correspondent Michael Shure has been at the Laundrie family house in Northport, Florida. He is joining us now live. And Michael, there have been sightings everywhere from that preserve near the home all the way to Canada. How do authorities know which to take seriously and which to pursue?
It's an interesting question. Of course, unless you're in law enforcement, you're not always able to answer. I spoke with Tim Clemente this evening. Tim is a former FBI agent, former anti-terrorism as well, and I was asking him about just this. What goes into the minds of all of these tips? And you can imagine we only hear about some of those that go public. We don't hear about all of the others. We were talking earlier, Rudabeh, you and I, about this tip that was called in North Carolina in the Appalachian Mountains between North Carolina and Tennessee, where there were specific sightings. And Tim Clemente said to me that that is the kind of tip that the law enforcement agencies will sort of horn in on a little bit, because that's the kind of tip that has specificity. It has a time, it has a place, rather than if you were just walking around Portland, Maine, and you say, I think I saw Brian Laundrie in Portland, Maine. Where? I don't quite remember. He looked a lot like him. This guy said he saw in profile, he saw him head on, and he saw him at a specific time. So the law enforcement there, local and federal, can go in and look at different ATM cameras around, different cameras that would have been on buildings, in parks, in public spaces, and see if they can corroborate that report. And if so, that's how they do these. So they have to sift through them. But if they are, the more specific they are, the more interested they are in following them.
And as the search stretches on, more time is going by. Does that mean it's less likely he'll be found in that area?
You know, not always, and we've been spending quite a bit of time here just waiting for some action, waiting for the FBI to come to the Laundrie home, waiting perhaps for some kind of news by being here. The Laundrie family themselves have not spoken to anyone here. We haven't seen them the entire time I've been here all weekend. But what we do know is that there is precedent for these people staying in an area where they are comfortable, where they know they can get resources, where they know they can get food, where they know the terrain. Tim Clemente pointed out to me that one of the examples of that is Eric Rudolph. You may remember the Olympic bomber. He was apprehended years later, but in the just not too far, it was North Carolina, not too far from where he was, in that sort of area. So it is possible that Brian Laundrie could be here. It could also be that Brian Laundrie is long gone out of this neighborhood. And again, we have to remember, they don't even know, and they have no reason not to believe it, but they don't even know if Brian Laundrie is still alive.
Yeah, well, when you talk about his family, you're outside that home. The public has decided, apparently, that the parents are guilty, right? They've been giving conflicting information, kind of withholding, but they haven't been charged with anything. And there is a Florida statute that protects the relatives of a felon from being accessories. Do you anticipate his parents being charged? And is the pressure building the longer Brian Laundrie is missing?
You know, it's hard to say, but that is a really important factor that is unique to this state, certainly in this case, is that there is that statute that protects them, protects the family. They have not said anything, even on those occasions where they have left their house, gone out, come back. There was a gaggle of press here for a lot of that time, asking them questions constantly. They weren't answering. They were just ignoring it, going about their business, leaving, coming home, and going back inside. Their lawyer was doing the speaking for them. That is probably the best advice he could give, and it's probably good that they are taking that advice. But it's too early to know that they could be charged with anything. The people in the community that you speak to in a sort of anecdotal way here, Rudabeh, they say that they're upset that the family hasn't helped at all, that the family doesn't seem to be out looking for Brian, those sorts of things. But that's not about the law. That's just about the neighborhood. Rudabeh?
All right, Michael Shure reporting for us in Florida. Thank you so much.